we did a quick kind of shift of things, and we're gonna change the order a little bit. We're gonna come back to number 3, and we're gonna do number 4, Google presentations. My guess is that many, if not all of you, have done PowerPoints. Is that an accurate? Okay. So presentations are like PowerPoints. You've probably heard the expression, maybe you have, maybe you haven't, death by PowerPoint. Have you heard that? Okay. If you haven't heard it, I think it's a real phenomenon. I think people actually can die from watching PowerPoints extended. I think it can happen. Okay, so I'm not a big fan of lengthy lecture type PowerPoints, so that's not what I'm going to advocate for you today. I think there are a lot of creative ways to use PowerPoint, and I think PowerPoint can be a great way for your students to show you what they have learned. So I want to model for you an activity where students will take on different roles. And so you at your table are each going to take on a different role. We are going to together watch a 5-minute video. Each of you will be watching for different things in this PowerPoint, which you are going to share. Each of you will have a different page, and you'll type some notes on your page and your page only. And then we're going to put this at a pretty fast speed in terms of the activity. I think the technology will be fairly easy for you because all you're really doing is typing. But the idea of sharing a document, what we were doing before, and doing it in a way that we're cooperatively jigsaw, in essence, using a presentation in Google Docs, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and launch this. Again, I'm gonna ask that you pick a team leader, and the team leader is gonna open up the file and then share the file with each person in the group. So we are looking at, under number 4, we're looking at cooperative note-taking activity, and leave your Drive open. Drive needs to be open. Your session 1 materials page needs to be open. And if you click on cooperative note-taking, it should come up for you in Drive. If it doesn't come up in Drive, then you can do open in Drive with the button. Did it work? I see smiles. That's a good sign. Okay, so team leader, please go ahead and click on share. And now what you're going to do is come down to where it says send link to people, change the permission to, we want to change the permission to can edit. What's going on here? It copied my link. That's not what I want. Okay, I know what we need to do. Sorry. Just click to get out of there. What we're going to do, I'm sorry, I led you down a bad path. Click on File. I'm sorry, I apologize. My day was actually as long as yours. It started at 7 this morning. Okay, so File, make a copy. I jumped ahead. You have to own it first. Okay, so File, make a copy. And click OK. Now it's in your Drive. Okay, I'll back up. Hang on. So you opened the file in Drive, right? And then across the top of your work area, you should be looking at something that looks like a word processor. So you've got these menus, File, Edit, View, Insert. So click on your File menu. And then scroll down. You should see Make a Copy. Everybody see that? Make a copy. And you can just leave it as Copy, the default name. Once you've made a copy, then you put it in your Drive and you now own it, okay? So now we can click on Share. And now the default is Can Edit. And if it's not on yours, then change it to Edit. And again, would you add the email addresses, the Google login addresses of your teammates? Now, while the team leader is doing that, I want to talk about the roles, and you can quickly select a role. So here's the task. Together we'll watch a brief video that shows how one school has implemented blended learning, and they've done it in a one-to-one environment just like you guys are doing. In your team, each of you will have a role as a note taker. Choose roles before the video begins. Go to your slide and get ready to capture notes and insights while you view. Now we're gonna just do this like a fast type. Don't get too serious on me. The idea behind this is more important than getting an A on the assignment. So here are the note-taking roles. We want someone who is an evidence collector. So this is the person who is looking for evidence that that school has done great things with their one-to-one initiative. Student scores have gone up. With their what? With their one-to-one. One-to-one is just a quick way of talking about putting a device in everybody's hand. Okay. Their test scores have gone up. Look for evidence of that. Students are more engaged or more motivated. There are good things that are happening in the school that have evidence that things have gotten better. The blended learning specialist is looking for characteristics of blended learning. What does it look like? What kinds of activities happen in a blended classroom? The student observer is looking closely at what the students are doing. So just making observations about student behavior. The teacher observer is making observations about what the teachers are doing. There are 3 teachers, I believe, in the video. The technologist is trying to capture ideas about what technologies are being used. One of them I think they use is BlendSpace. There are a couple others. And the instructional strategy specialist is looking at things like learning arrangements, different types of instructional strategies that are being used, like comparing and contrasting, hypothesizing, note-taking, advanced organizers, those kinds of things, instructional strategies.
Have we used any of our handouts yet? Not yet. Okay.
Not yet. Okay, so then you're going to see there's a slide for evidence collector, there's a slide for the blended learning specialist, there's one for the student observer, okay, and of course on the left-hand side, that's your navigation, so you can get to the slides. Okay, team leaders. Have you invited everybody? Okay, now my recommendation to you is that you not do this. Don't go into your email to get it. Just click on the tab that has your drive. I think we kind of bottlenecked and bogged down by doing it through email. You'll get an alert. The alert's great. On another day, the alert might be the fastest way to get to the doc. But for today, let's just click on the Drive tab and open up the PowerPoint. Okay, so we're gonna watch this quick video, and I'll mention to you that I linked you to a page that actually has a collection of videos. They're all short and sweet, and they're all really good. I probably told you the last time I was here, I love Edutopia, and maybe you do too. Lots of really good stuff here. So we're gonna look at this little video, and if you want to go ahead and get yourself on the page where you're going to be taking notes, and don't overdo it. Just try to enjoy yourself a little bit. Type a couple things. It's not so important that you write a book about this as that you get the idea of what we're after here, the jigsaw. Okay, this is the one we want.
I can say that the things I've been doing the last 2 years have really made a difference because my kids have scored the highest in the state on standardized tests. So what we're doing here is working and it's helping them be successful.
We define blended learning as the combination of digital content and activity with face-to-face content and activity. It sounds easy to blend, but it looks very different in every classroom. So if a teacher is using something that works really well in a face-to-face situation, they should continue to do that because it works well. If they can find something else that works better, is more efficient or more effective that's digital, then that would be implemented.
What I have online could be completely different than what the biology teacher has online or what the physical education teacher has online. It just depends what you need those kids to have in order to understand what they need to learn.
Okay, go ahead and get the laptops. And actually, anybody that's in a small group, come over here. I need you to get an iPad.
Why I wanted to go to a more blended environment was so that I could figure out a way to differentiate instruction within the biology classroom. And I wanted a way to be able to work with students in small groups while other students are still engaged in content learning.
There's 3 activities. One's a sorting sentence activity, one is an online interactivity, and one is small group that's going to be working with me. Okay, slide to the apps and open up EduCreations. We're going to fill in this chart because this is going to get us practicing base pairing between DNA, RNA, and reading our codon chart. Okay, so what goes with G? C. So I'm going to put G and C together like this, right?
I'd like probably learn more today just by doing this than I have the whole week that we've been doing this.
We looked at the research about blended learning, we defined it, and then we had to figure out what would it look like in my class. And so that's when I went, well, I actually want to use it more as a tool for the kids and for like supplemental materials. There's always practice problems, or you can go listen to somebody talk about the topic. But the kids started to say that we don't want to listen to somebody else, we want to listen to you. And we need your help. And we want to hear your voice. So I started to go, okay, well, how can I do that? And so our technology person said, have you seen this app on the iPad? And me not knowing anything about technology, went, I have no idea what you're talking about, teach me. So we went through a process of me learning how to use the Show Me app. And then I started making podcasts, and it gives me a chance to be in their homes, wherever they are, 24/7. It's virtual weller is what we call it.
And that would correspond to 6 to 9, like it has in the rest of the problems.
The podcast like helps so much. It's like as if she's actually there, and she just goes through it again, and you can like finally understand it.
I see them, they'll plug in, I look over and they have it on their phones, they have it on their tablets, they have it on computers. They do podcasts for me during class time. I will have specific problems I want to see, just like, do they understand the basics of what we talked about today?
Divided 40 to 2 by 7. And C.
For me, classroom time, direct instruction, investigations, discovery, that's all still part of teaching. It's not all online. A lot of the face-to-face stuff is still the most important thing to me. The online tools are there to help make understanding even better, even more rich of an experience for the kids.
We really wanted the focus to be on the teaching and learning part and on the digital tool as a secondary thing.
Kids don't always get it the first time, or the second time, or the third time, and this allows different ways for those kids to get it. The pass rate for my kids the first year was 75%, and the second year was 93%. The state average is somewhere around 60%, so something's working for these kids.
In the interest of time, we're not going to go all the way through that share back process, okay? We'll put those instructions together for you so that you can take a stab at it. I would love to hear from you in the discussion area, you know, how you do with that. If you try to go out there and, you know, take a risk and do it on your own with your students. So I'm going to turn it over to Kathy, who is going to take you through the use of forms, and I think you're going to find a lot of possible uses for Google Forms. So.
We're not filling out the power.
Oh yeah, you are. Yeah, were you doing it while you were working?
Okay, so
Or while you were watching?
finish the
Yeah, you can go ahead. You can go ahead and finish that, and then everybody's got it to see the results of that. It would actually be kind of cool to, if we had time, to do one of these videos each time and add to each of those frames. We could add slides to it.
I have Gardner as evidence collector.
Yeah,
I have.
yours popped in, right?
Did mine pop in?
What are you, yep.